What's up, everybody? True Boxing here, and thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. Today, doing the What's Next on Undefeated, former super middleweight champion of the world, Gilberto Ramirez, following his hard-fought 10th round TKO victory over Yunieski Gonzalez, the veteran. It was a great fight. First off, it had an ebb and flow to it. There was early on, it looked like Ramirez was going to stop Gonzalez, and then Gonzalez landed a big shot to hurt Ramirez, and it shifted the tide back. And it was just an impressive performance by Ramirez, who just never really gave up. You know, he could have boxed a little more and thrown to the body, and he probably would have got Gonzalez out of there earlier. But Gonzalez just showed a ton of heart and kept banging with him. And Ramirez just showed his fortitude and his will, and broke down and stopped Yunieski Gonzalez 10th round, and now pushes forward towards what looks like a title shot. So let's take a look at what's possibly next for Gilberto Ramirez. You know, we start off with number 1, Undefeated. Not likely, because Ramirez is likely going to fight Dimitri Duvall for the title in his next fight. He's number 1 contender to that belt. I think Beterbiev would be open to it, but Top Rank and Golden Boy, it would be an optional fight. Top Rank and Golden Boy would have to come together, and I'm not seeing that. Number 2 is Dimitri Duvall, the undefeated WBA champion. Excuse me. I think this one is likely between Duvall and Ramirez. They were talking about making the fight anyways, and the WBA granted Gilberto Ramirez and Yunieski Gonzalez to be a title eliminator, and now Ramirez is the number 1 contender. I think it's very likely the WBA orders the fight between Ramirez and Duvall next, and these two guys lock horns in the first half of the year. That's what I can see happening. Number 3, Joe Smith Jr. Not likely. No, it's not going to happen next. Joe Smith, again, he might have his 2022 completely spoken for, depending on when he fights. I see it as a 3-fight year if all goes well for Joe Smith without injury, and he doesn't wear himself out in the first fight with Callum Johnson. If he can knock out Callum Johnson and then fight Anthony Yarde in the middle of the year and come out of that as the winner and the WBO champion, then second half of the year, maybe, but it's definitely not going to happen next, because Joe Smith has his next 2 fights, as long as he wins, lined up, so I don't see it. Number 4 at 175 is Maxim Vlasov. You know, if Bivol doesn't want to fight, or they give Bivol to somebody else, maybe Ramirez takes on a guy like Vlasov, but I doubt it, because Ramirez is really trying to get a title shot in his next fight. Number 5 is Callum Smith. Now, this one's interesting. I don't see this fight happening, but Dimitri Duvall, if Bivol were to get handed Callum Smith, because they're both with the same promotion, then maybe Gilberto Ramirez, Ramirez has to wait around, then it's definitely off the table. But if Bivol were to get somebody else besides Smith and Ramirez, then I think it's possible for those two guys to fight, because they're both with the zone. One's a Golden Boy, one's a Matchroom. But I don't think Oscar or Eddie Hearn would be opposed to it, as long as the fighters wouldn't be opposed to it. And then the winner goes on to fight Dimitri Duvall in the second half of the year. I could see that, but who knows if that's going to be the case. Number 6 now is Gilberto Ramirez. Number 7 is Anthony Yarde. Yarde's lined up for a WBO title shot in the middle of the year, so that won't happen. Number 8 is the 3 guys that are coming off of losses start at number 8, and that's Eliter Alvarez. I wouldn't be completely shocked, but I don't think Alvarez, after a year and a half off and a knockout loss to Joe Smith, would want to fight Ramirez. And number 9 is Marcus Brown, coming off the knockout loss to Arthur Beterbiev, and then it's Golden Boy working with PBC, not likely. And then number 10 would be a rematch with Yunieski Gonzalez. There'd be no sense in him taking a rematch with Gonzalez right now. It'd be a risky fight. Gonzalez is a dangerous guy, and if he beats him again, I don't think he would get the credit, a lot of credit. For fan friendly, yeah, but not seeing it. So for me, I really believe it's going to be Dimitri Duvall. It's the fight that both guys said they wanted, and unless Duvall gets approved to fight Arthur Beterbiev in like a unification bout next, or were to get Callum Smith instead, then I really believe Bivall's going to have to fight Gilberto Ramirez in a mandatory defense. But still waiting around to see the WBA order the fight, but Ramirez should get Dimitri Duvall in his next fight for the WBA light heavyweight championship of the world. So we'll see what happens. But that's it. That's what's next on Undefeated former super middleweight champion Gilberto Ramirez following a 10th round TKO victory over Yunieski Gonzalez. I hope you guys enjoyed it. True Boxing, you've been here with the truth.